guys, welcome back to Tea with D. Today we're drinking chamomile tea because with the way work is stressing me out right now, I need something to calm me down. So I got really excited while drafting my response to today's submission because number one, I actually recently experienced the exact same thing, and number two, someone else submitted the same thing. See, this is what this channel is about, to show you that I'm going through it, you're going through it, they're going through it. So why don't we all just talk about it? So submission one is very direct. It says, I feel a loss of enthusiasm, energy and drive, which makes me overthink what lies ahead. While submission two is a bit more elaborate. Can you share what makes you want to keep living, being productive and happy? Some say because the only alternative is misery. Others say friends and love, but we can't depend on others for joy, correct? I'm so grateful for my life as there isn't much to complain about. But life itself seems pointless. The things that have the power to make me happy hurt the most when they're gone. I work to be able to afford to keep fighting. I fight to limit sex and food and buy products and experiences so I can look and feel better. I am kind to everyone and take good care of myself, but I still have no actual purpose. Firstly, thank you both for being vulnerable and sharing this with us. And to submitter two, I know that I only summarized about half of what you wrote, but I really want to take my time with your submission because I have so much to say. So I'm going to divide yours into two separate topics and two different videos. So today covers only the first half of yours. Regardless, both of you are essentially seeking motivation on why you should keep going, right? I actually ask people this question a lot, partly because I'm just generally a curious person and I like to see how people think. But part of me is also seeking that same motivation because why am I here? But the truth is, you're literally the only person that can give yourself a genuine reason on why you should live your life. I could easily sit here and say things like, you're the only you in the world and you're here for a reason, and that's enough reason as to why you should keep going, right? And although all these phrases are valid, they're just too general. Like, what does "you're here for a reason" mean to someone that has literally no idea what that reason is? You yourself needs to find that reason that resonates with you personally. And when you do, you need to find a way to incorporate it into your lifestyle. As you said, the things that seem to make you happy always hurt you when they're away. And that's because none of these things were actually made to keep you happy. Food was made to nourish your body, not to keep you happy. That club that you really like with the really good music, it was made to keep making money, not to keep you happy. Your best friend, your partner, even your child, they all have their own purpose. They weren't made to keep you happy. Because you've associated the existence of these things to the happiness that you get from them, you will always get hurt or disappointed when they don't meet your expectations. They can't keep you happy because they're not meant to. And once I realized this, I had to ask myself, if I was abducted today and dropped in some foreign land, forced to do just one thing for the rest of my life, what would it relate to? What makes me so happy that even when it's over, instead of feeling hurt or ashamed, I'm always left feeling so joyful that I even got the opportunity to do it. That was when I decided to start this channel. That was about 7 years ago, lol. But the most fulfilling things are almost certainly bound to make you feel very uncomfortable at first. So when I got an epiphany to start a YouTube channel where I'll be giving my 2 cents on people's personal problems and issues, you can imagine how uncomfortable that made me feel at first, especially if you knew me personally. But for a very long period in time, I dreaded waking up every day. Not because I was depressed or because I lacked anything in life, but because I simply didn't have a reason. I had zero drive and felt like I was just existing because as far as I was concerned, nothing I was doing meant anything and none of it mattered to me. And lo and behold, 7 years later, something that completely slipped my mind came flashing back at about 4 a.m. on a Monday morning. It was very weird. At that point, the fact that I could potentially find a way to constantly do something that would not only help people, but that I actually cared about, eventually any discomfort that had kept me from doing it for a long time. And now here I am. Whether you're a more religious person and call it a divine purpose, or you're more scientific and see it as self-actualization, the bottom line is that human beings will never truly feel motivated until we feel like we're living in, or at least working towards, our purpose. If you're still figuring out what yours is, be patient and kind to yourself. Try to focus on spending more time on getting to know yourself better. Trust me, everything else can wait. Remember that those distractions, both positive and negative, are fleeting. You always eventually end up having to face your thoughts. But of course, remember that there's no formula to life. Everyone's timeline to figuring out their purpose is completely different. And Lord knows, I almost lost my mind, beating myself up about not knowing mine. On the other hand, if you have even the slightest idea of what yours might be, don't sit on it for another 7 years like me. Maybe you want to have attained a certain level of experience, finances, reputation. Trust me, there's no perfect time to start living in your purpose. No matter how small you start, just start. You owe it to yourself. Like for me, this channel is a way to constantly incorporate something that I'm genuinely passionate about into my life while I simultaneously work on the bigger picture. This way I have something to look forward to every morning. There's something I'm actually doing that makes me want to wake up, no matter how big or small the audience. Nowadays, there's so many ways to seamlessly share your passions and gifts. Try not to overthink it. I hope that knowing that we're all trying to cope with these same issues makes you feel less alone and more seen. I encourage anyone else who has experience addressing similar situations to share how they were able to cope with it. Thanks for watching, and especially for your vulnerability. See you next Sunday. Bye!